And without further ado, we will go ahead and begin on the job seeking and preparedness resources for your job search. I will be looking at LinkedIn.com or lynda.com and LinkedIn Learning. So initially this was lynda.com, which has been taken over by LinkedIn Learning, and in just a few days, it will officially become LinkedIn Learning. So these two terms will be used. It is referring to the same thing. It's just depending where in the process it is. A short overview of what is lynda.com and LinkedIn Learning. These are instructor-created videos, but there is no instructor interaction. The videos are short and they are broken into very specific topics. Related videos are grouped together into classes in order to teach complete skills, and related classes are then grouped together in order to create full learning paths. There is additional information available in exercise files that goes beyond just what you're listening to in the videos. You can learn at your own pace and you can start at any time. And just again, lynda.com will be changing its name to LinkedIn Learning very shortly. I believe it'll probably be down tomorrow, and by the start of April, it will officially be LinkedIn Learning. So now we're going to look at how to get to lynda.com. So if you are from the Northbrook Public Library, you will start at the library homepage, which is northbrook.info. You will hover over the Find tab, and then you will select e-resources from the drop-down menu on the right. From here, you will either click on the Careers, Computer Tutorials, and Test Prep section, or simply click on the letter L for lynda.com, and then you will scroll down until lynda.com appears. Once you see that listed as an option, click on lynda.com, and that will take you to the lynda.com homepage. If you are here with the Indian Trails Library, you will start at indiantrailslibrary.org. You will hover over the Resources tab, and then you will select the A to Z list from the drop-down menu. This will give you a full list of their electronic databases, and you will simply scroll on down until you get to the letter L for lynda.com, and then you can click on lynda.com, and that will take you to the website. Lastly, if you are here with the Vernon Area Library, you will start at the vapld.info homepage. You will select the research option and then choose the online research and learning from the drop-down menu. There, you will then select the letter L for lynda.com in the alphabet that appears across the screen and scroll down until you get to lynda.com. So whichever of the three libraries you are with, once you click on lynda.com, they should all take you to the same place, which is the lynda.com homepage. But given that we're about to switch over and it's about to become LinkedIn Learning, from now on, I will be referring to it as LinkedIn Learning. So now at the homepage, your library will appear here. You will need to know your account number and your password in order to log in. If for whatever reason you don't know your account number or password, contact your home library and they can get you set up so that you can access the different videos. Once you have that, go ahead and click on Get Started. This is where you will go ahead and enter in your library card number. You will put in your PIN number and you will click on Continue. Now, one thing that I did notice when doing this myself is the very first time you log in, it will take you to a different initial next screen where it asks you to choose what sort of videos you are interested in watching. It's not very important which option you choose, but you do need to choose something in order to continue. And then every session thereafter, you won't see that screen again. So I have not included that in the slideshow for tonight. Once you get to the LinkedIn Learning homepage, we see a couple of different things which I'll go ahead and point out. So the first is that it says LinkedIn Learning, and there is a browse and search feature, which we will look at in more depth. There are some personalized options that we will also look at in more depth. There's the option to set a weekly goal for the amount of time you would like to spend if this is part of a continuing education program where you're supposed to do a certain number of hours per week or per month. And then there is also the option of seeing what courses you currently have in progress. So we're going to take a look at some of the personalized options you have in the upper right corner. If at any point on the website you want to get back to this screen, you can just go ahead and click on the Home button. If you want to click on the My Learning button, it will show you what courses you are currently taking. If you click on the notifications bell icon, it will let you know if there is anything that needs to be brought to your attention. The Me option allows you to personalize your account information. And then lastly, the globe with the EN under it allows you to change the language. The default for the language is English, and any searches that you do will only, in English, will only reflect English words. If you would like to search for resumes, for example, you would go ahead and type into the search box resume and would select English. If you would like to use something in a different language, such as Spanish, make sure to type in that different language into the search box, otherwise it will not produce any results. So if you wanted to search for resumes, but in Spanish, you'd want the Spanish word resumen, and then it would be able to give you the appropriate results. If you are looking to resume a course that you have already begun, you can do that through several different methods. One was looking at the My Learning option that we mentioned on the last slide. And also you have the option of selecting just the In Progress tab on the home page. If you are taking many classes or watching many videos at one time, in order to see all of them, you might need to click on the Show All option. A note that I have noticed so far is that courses that began on lynda.com are not currently showing up once it switches to LinkedIn Learning. However, that may change as it goes live. So if you are finishing anything on lynda.com, that might not transfer over in the next few days as the switch occurs. Looking at the browse feature, this is one of the first places where you can go and see the sort of videos that you are looking for and choose the sort of classes you're interested in. If you click on Browse, it brings up quite a few different topics that you might be interested in. For this course, we're specifically looking at jobs, so we are going to be looking at the career development set of listings and click on career development, or you could click on Show All to see all of the different options that are under that heading. So some of the first things that we can see is that it has a number of possible search terms that we can use for future searches. We can also see that there are 269 results for career development. This is going to be actually a bit different than if we search some of these same terms in the search box. So it may be good to know some of the different ways in order to do that. And if you're not sure where to begin your search, using the Browse feature can be nice because it supplies many of those terms for you. Now, if within that last screen, we go ahead and select on the job searching tab, I'll go back for just 1 second to show you where that is. But if we select specifically this job searching option, that will take us to a new screen, which only has results for courses that contain the words job searching somewhere in there. This has 241 results, which we will obviously want to refine a little bit, and we will look at how to refine a search once we look at the search function instead of just the general browse function. We can see that this has different types of courses. It has full learning paths, which, as we can see, take about 10 hours for this one. It has individual courses. Some of these are only a half an hour. And then we have some individual videos, which are generally less than 5 minutes long. Now, if we're using the search function in order to look for courses on job searching, we'll see as we start to type in the word job search or job searching, it will automatically populate results that it thinks we might be interested in. So we can either accept the auto-filled suggestions, or we might want to type in something different. Using a combination of those can often get us the best results. Here, I'm going to be doing a search for the term job searching, but I could also try job seeking or career development or finding a job or many other possible terms. You'll want to play around a little bit and get an idea of which different search terms give the best results. So feel free to test a few things out and see what sort of results we get. Because if we do job searching, we will find we get 354 results. This is probably too many results to simply scroll through and try and find the course or the video or the learning path that is right for us. As a result, we will want to narrow our search by filtering our results. There's some good information here. It contains the length of the video. It contains the type of video, if they're learning paths, courses, or single videos. And then we have a lot of facets on the left-hand side, which we can select in order to further refine our search. These are currently listed by best match. So this is trying to match this term and job searching and have the best matches appear at the front. If we would like to change that, however, there are two other options where we could get the newest videos to appear at the front in case we've looked at things before and just want to see what are the new options that have appeared. Or we could also choose the most popular options where we can see which have the most learners in them right now, what have other people found to be the most interesting and desirable, and then just look at the most popular. So those are a couple of different options we have, but we're going to go ahead, we're going to filter our results so we can move away from this 354 results number into something that is much more manageable. So in this case, I've selected only looking at courses that are within the job searching field. And we'll see that instead of 354, it reduces the total number of results to 95. So this gives us a lot more material to work with, or makes it a lot easier to browse through there. And you will note the filters that you have because they will display between the results and the actual videos and courses. Now, I might decide that 95 courses is still too much to look through, so I will go ahead and further refine the search. In this case, I'm selecting only courses that are at least 2 hours long. So I've selected the 2 to 3 hour block and the 3 or more hour block. And this has now refined my search from 95 results to only 6 results. So now I have 6 courses on job searching that are at least 2 hours long. I'm going to go ahead and select the course at the top about writing your resume. And you can see a little more information about the course. It has the name of the instructor. It has when the course was either last updated, or if it is a new course, when it was last posted, or when it was first released, rather. For example, we can see this course was released only 4 months ago. Now, once you click on a course, you are taken to the course homepage instead of the LinkedIn Learning homepage that we initially saw. So at the top here, we can see the name of the course, and then underneath that, we see the current video that we are looking for, because we'll see that this writing a successful resume corresponds directly with the introductory video for the course. Once you have watched a video, this dot that you see on the left side of all videos will change, and it's either changing into a green check mark or an orange dot, depending on which sort of device you're using. It also contains the list and the length of time that each course is. So as we can see, this writing success resume is only 1 minute and 1 second long, and all of these other lengths are less than 5 minutes per video, but all these videos together end up comprising a full course. This is very similar to what you would see if you were doing lynda.com. It's just a slightly different format, but the videos here are the exact same videos that you saw. Now, if you clicked on the X button in order to collapse this table of contents, you will be able to get a slightly larger video, and it will display a little bit more information here on the bottom. If you want to get the table of contents back, you can just go ahead and click on the contents again, and it will reappear. In the bottom left corner of the video, it lets you play and stop the video. It lets you move forward and backwards, and lists the length of time that the video is. In the bottom right-hand corner, it gives you the option to change the playback speed, which can be very useful if the instructor is speaking either too quickly or too slowly for your preference. It has the option to turn on closed captioning. You can change the volume, you can change the size of the screen. So there are a number of things that you can change in the bottom right corner. And if you click on the name of the instructor, you can get more information about the instructor and also a list of all the courses that the instructor is offering. So this instructor, as an example, we can see their credentials, we can see a bit of their biography, and we can see that they are offering 4 full courses. So if you find that an instructor that you like and you connect with, you can go ahead and see what other courses they have in case you're interested in taking more things by the same instructor. Some of the most popular courses are going to appear with the word popular in purple in the upper left-hand corner of the course. And this appears for all courses, not just for those on this screen. Moving back to the course homepage, we were just looking at information about the instructor. We also have general course information. This contains the total length of time of all of the videos, how advanced or basic it is. Since some will be beginner, some intermediate, some advanced, this is just a general course, when it was last updated. And one of the bigger differences from lynda.com is this additional section here. We had exercise files before. However, some of these certifications, continuing educations, and exam units are new. We'll go ahead and take a look at what an exercise file is. because these are the additional files that you can be looking at that go beyond just watching the video. Here, there are two different exercise files that appear in zipped files. The glossary is a simple file that only contains one page. However, the second one, the exercise files writing a resume, contains a much larger folder that the instructor will reference during the different videos. As we can see, once we open it up, there are 17 different files, and many of these are samples. So these are sample parts of a resume, a sample thank you letter, an example of a poorly written resume, because it's often good to be able to pause a video and look at things and examine exactly what the instructor is referring to. So this is one of the advantages, is that you can pause your video, you can go ahead, you can see what the person's talking about in front of you written down. Moving on to certificates, it will let you know what certificates are available and what you might need to do in order to complete the course and obtain the certificate. For example, this one, it says you need to complete the course and pass an exam with at least a 70% average in order to earn the continuing education credits and certifications. So continuing education actually has its own field. It lets you know what sort of certifications are available. It has continuing professional education credits. It gives a certain value. So if you are working for a job that requires a certain amount of continuing education to occur, this allows you to go through and show that you have been working on different things through watching videos. And finally, there is an exam where if you would like to get your certificates of completion or your continuing education credits, you have to complete an exam with at least a 70% score. This one that I tried was only 15 questions long, all connected to the videos that we just watched. And in order to finish everything, not only do you have to pass the exam, you have to watch all of the videos. So while for this one, I had watched the videos on lynda.com, I would need to finish watching some of the videos here on LinkedIn Learning in order to get the certifications, even though I passed the exam. We will see if when that switches over, if anything will be changed and updated. I'm hoping it will. However, that we'll see in a few days. Okay, we're moving back to the course homepage again. And here we're simply scrolling further on down on the page. Here it lists a list of learning objectives, which tells you the important points of the course or what it's going to try and teach you. If you're watching a video that's 3 minutes long, I wouldn't necessarily worry about looking at the learning objectives. However, if you're looking at doing a course that is several hours long, or a learning path that can be 10, 20, or 30 hours long, I think it would make a lot more sense to make sure you're looking to see what the course is trying to teach, and if that is going to be something that you are interested in, or if that is specifically what you were interested in. It also mentions some of the skills that are being covered. In this, it's job searching and resume writing. And these can be useful keywords to try to type into the search box if you are looking for something else specifically on one of the topics or on one of the skills that is covered. If we scroll down even further on the homepage, it will give us related courses. So if we found that we've taken one course and we have enjoyed it, it will let us know other similar courses in case we want to increase our knowledge or get a second perspective or opinion. For some devices, these courses will actually display higher up on the page on the right. And I think we have a screen capture of that. So you might see these on the right side, not all the way down on the bottom of the overview homepage. So in some of these, you have to scroll all the way down, and in others, they will appear on the right-hand side. An important note, if you're specifically looking at certain skills, is to look at what sort of version the skill is going to be taught in. For example, I just did a general search for Excel, and I got 384 results. However, we can see that the top result is Excel for Office 365. The second result is for Excel 2016. The fourth result is for Learning Excel 2019. If you are working with a specific form of Excel, you will need to know which one you are working with. This is going to be true for any Microsoft Office product or anything else where it's a specific type that you're trying to learn. So you'll want to pay attention at what version is appearing. There's also the ability to find test preparation materials. So this ranges from anything from the ACT for high schoolers to the GRE to the GMAT, and also certification exams in case you need a certification in order to start your career. So these are available. I just did a simple search for test prep, and it gave 149 results. You can then reduce that search by typing in something more specific, but there is information on the test preparation materials here. A big point is to consider the amount of time that is going to be involved. Learning paths are sets of courses that are all bundled together. This is an example of a course or a set of courses that end up being 24 hours long. The next one is a set of courses that are 23 hours long. Now, if you are working in a position and you have continuing education goal, spending 24 hours over the span of weeks or months could be quite reasonable. If you are looking for a job right now, you might not want to spend 24 hours working on a particular skill. You might want to start with something that is much more focused and shorter in time. So make sure to choose a time length that is appropriate for what your current position is. One of the big things, explore it in order to find out more. There's a lot more to lynda.com and LinkedIn Learning than is being shown today. This is just a very brief overview. It has a lot of information on a very wide range of topics. So go ahead, poke around and see what there is out there and what might be interesting to you. Do you have any questions about LinkedIn Learning or lynda.com? If so, go ahead and put those in the chat box, and we can take a few minutes to answer some questions. And while we give people a chance to enter in any questions that they might have, I will use this as a chance to mention that this is part of a series of videos hosted by the Northbrook Library, the Indian Trails Library, and the Vernon Area Library. And we are working together, especially with a series of jobs programs. And you can find more about that at careercollab.org. I will type that into the chat box in a little bit. It has similar jobs programs that we have done in the past, and also has a schedule of upcoming jobs programs that we have. So those include videos for past programs, and then we should also be including videos for future programs if you're not able to attend a live event. So give people a little bit more to type in any questions they have. And now a short announcement specifically for Northbrook patrons. So the second half of the presentation tonight is going to be covering Gale courses. Now, Northbrook currently has Gale courses, but we will not be renewing our subscription for the next year. So you are welcome to stay for the remainder of the program. However, we do want to let you know that it is not going to be offered past the end of April. So if you are in Northbrook and would like to complete a full Gale course, you would need to select the March 17th start date and complete the first several lessons within the next about 2 days in order to get this completed before our Gale program finishes. So I just wanted to make people aware of that. Faye will be talking more about how Gale courses works, but just a heads up, and this is only for Northbrook patrons. So in case you are not interested in starting something in the next 2 days, the rest of this program is not going to be as useful for a Northbrook patron. So with that, I will go ahead. I will stop my screen share. Let's see, I see one question, and that is, do you work with any job placement services? We don't have a formal partnership with any. If we hear about any, we would go ahead and post their information, but we don't have a direct partnership here at Northbrook. I will see if Faye, no, we don't at Indian Trails either. So we do not have that one. And does the program with relationships have, so we do have SCORE mentoring, which is going to be something different. Well, actually, I was going to say, I think Faye will be getting into this with Gale courses because they will have interaction with the instructors. So I will go ahead and I will turn it over to Faye at this point.
So on that question, thanks, Brian. On that question, we do have through Indian Trails, there is a resume reviewer. Those appointments are on Thursdays, switching off between 12 to 3 and 5 to 8. So you can register for those on the Indian Trails website. And if you go to careercollab.com, you'll also be able to find the link there. So that's an option. And then I believe all 3 of Vernon, Northbrook, and Indian Trails subscribe to tutor.com. And so that's another place where you can sort of find some of that career coaching. So I'm going to be talking about Gale courses, which is a little bit different from Linda and has sort of a little bit of a different purpose. And I do apologize, my internet is a little bit wobbly, but my voice should work regardless. So Gale is more sort of traditional classwork than lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning. It's you have certain assignments and you go through sort of methodically. And Linda is much more lecture-based and has a lot of videos. And Gale courses is much more focused on reading the different assignments and reading the instructions and things like that. It also has certain times when you enter the course. So lynda.com and LinkedIn Learning are sort of on demand. And Gale is you start on March 17th or you start on, April 20th or whatever. So those are sort of key differences between the two. And as Brian mentioned, Northbrook will no longer have Gale. So this is where to find them on each of our websites. Indian Trails is itpld.org or indiantrailslibrary.org. And you'll see the resources tab up at the top. You can click by category and it's under business and career, that top one there. Or you can go to the A to Z list and it's under G for Gale. At northbrook.info, it's the same place you'll find Linda. You go to find and then e-resources under research and you'll be able to find it there. And at vapld.info, you'll go to research and then online research and learning, and click on G, it'll be under Gale courses. So this is the page you see when you first open it from our website. You have a couple options at this point. You can click My Classroom or you can click View Catalog. You'll want to click on My Classroom if you've already made an account, and View Catalog if you have not. So if you click on My Classroom, you'll be prompted to enter your email address and your password. So again, this is only if you've already created an account. So if it's your first time visiting, you'll want to click on View Catalog instead. So this is what you see if you click on View Catalog. You'll see that this is just exactly how it comes up. It's by default sorted by relevance. You can also sort it by name A to Z. But probably the most helpful thing if you're looking for a specific skill or course is to go over on the left-hand side and click on whichever of those categories sounds reasonable. You know, if you're looking for computer applications or something on law, or you know, specific technologies that you're looking for, you can click on any of those. It'll show you those categories. And then you can also search for courses up at the top, and it'll bring up whatever it has in those categories. So once you've found a course, you can see how many hours it's designed to take, and that's how many hours total spread out over the 6 weeks. So you can see these couple are 24 hours, and the start dates, March 17th, April 14th, May 12th, June 16th. So you could choose the March 17th start date, and if you're at Northbrook, you would have to, but you will still only get 6 weeks from that date. So if you want the 6 weeks, it's important to choose the upcoming date, so April 14th or something like that. Once you've chosen your course, you'll click Enroll Now. So you'll select your start date, and again, you probably want to choose one that's in the future or is just like within the last couple of days, so you have maximum time. So you'll choose, and then you'll see this page next. If you're a returning student, you can, and haven't already logged in, you can put in your email address and password on the right-hand side, or if you've forgotten your password, you can go through the recovery process. On the left, if you're a new student, you would put in your email address, whichever one you want to use with us. And you'll get this screen. The email address will be auto-filled, and then you'll fill out the rest of the page, and you will click Continue. So once you've chosen your course and you've registered or logged in, you'll want to click on My Classroom. So that'll show you, again, up at the top, circled in red. That'll show you all of the courses that you have. So if you have multiple courses, they'll all show up here. Active courses are the ones that you're within the dates for. Previous courses, you can see that I've taken Mastery of Business Fundamentals in the past. And upcoming courses would be ones that haven't entered that window yet. So you can see I have chosen Excel, an Introduction to Excel course. And just like Brian was saying with Linda, the version is kind of important. You'll learn a lot of similar things if you're using a different version, but it's best to try and match the version that you have if you can. So you can click Orientation to get sort of more information on exactly what everything looks like, or you can just click Enter. So this is the page you'll see when you click on that. So you'll see it's getting started. There's a course overview that'll sort of, show you in general what the objectives are. The syllabus will give you a timeline. And you can also click on navigating this course, which will help you understand exactly what to expect, and again, exactly what the whole layout of Gale courses looks like. So there are a couple ways to navigate. You can go back and forth between this screen and the home screen and the more specific ones, or you can click previous on the bottom left and next on the bottom right. And for some courses like this one, you'll be prompted to take a pre-test to sort of gauge where you're at to begin with. This doesn't affect your grade. You only take it once, and it's just to sort of get an idea of where am I at, how much learning do I have to do here, you know, and also sort of, is this an appropriate level class for me? So you can see this is my pre-test. I got 75% right. And again, you can only take this one once. So once you've taken it, it'll show you which ones you got right, which ones you got wrong, and it'll explain to you why you got the ones wrong that you did. So that's sort of a start in your learning. So that sort of walks you through and is really helpful in sort of gauging where you're at to begin with. So next, you just go through the course chapter by chapter. This is chapter 1, it's Excel Basics. And so it really goes through every step. So this one instructed me to open up Excel, and then showed me where to find certain things and what the major sort of points of note were. And so it told me what the top bar looks like and what you'll find in each place and what the cells are called, and everything that you might need to know in order to navigate this course. And it walks you through very methodically, step by step. So there are usually several steps in each chapter, and then on each one you'll have a quiz, and that'll help you determine how well you've absorbed the information. And unlike the pretest, you can take these as many times as you want. So it's really beneficial if you do not so hot on the first one. Keep trying and keep, you know, maybe go back and read through the chapter again if there was something you didn't understand, or go into the discussion forum, which we'll talk about later, and just make sure that you've done really well on the quiz by the time you move on, because that will help you prepare for the final exam. Unlike the final exam, these don't have a big impact on whether you can graduate or not, or get the certificate, but they will show you how prepared you are for the final exam. So it's a good idea to take them as many times as you need. So this is what your main class dashboard looks like. So when you complete a lesson, it'll show up green, and if you've gone partway through a lesson, it'll show up with a progress bar in that circle there. So in this Excel course, there are 12 lessons, and then also a final exam and a page with other resources. And so the lessons unlock gradually throughout the 6 weeks. So you can see at the time that I took this screenshot, I was able to access Getting Started, the pretest, and lesson 1. And I had already completed them. And I also could have accessed lesson 2 and lesson 3. And then everything lesson 4 and beyond was locked. You do have to open up each link in a module in order for it to be marked as complete. So if you see something and you're like, oh, I probably don't need that, you still need to click on it in order for the system to log that you've done the entire thing. And then if you need additional resources, those are at the bottom next to the final exam, and you can access those at any time throughout the course. And then at the end, you take your final exam, and that'll unlock after all of the other lessons are open. And that needs to be completed by the end of the course so that you can get the certificate. And so the other major aspect of Gale courses is the discussion forum. So this is where it's a much more interactive course than Linda, because in Linda you don't have any direct interaction with the instructor. So here you can post any questions you have, you can post your homework results, you can, sort of post anything you might want help or feedback on, and the instructor can respond, and so can other students. And so in that way, it can become really interactive and collaborative if you're interested. It's entirely optional in most cases, so you can participate as much or as little as you'd like, and sort of create the experience that works for you. Are there questions? It looks like, are there any questions on anything? I'll leave you a few minutes to get to the chat. So to get to this discussion area, I will reshare my screen. So you'll click on, there's always this top bar, Introduction to Microsoft Excel. If you click on that, there'll be an option to just click on discussions, and that'll bring you here. Can Northbrook residents use Gale at Indian Trails Library? Unfortunately, this is only for, like all of our digital resources, this is only for library card holders at each library. Brian, are you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we do still have access to it until the end of April. So if you are with Northbrook, you could sign up for a class. You would just have to make sure to sign up for the one starting on March 17th and complete the first several lessons. I think it's probably the first 2 lessons before the first 2 weeks from March 17th have transpired. But as Faye was saying, unfortunately, this is something you have to do directly through your home library. So you would unfortunately not be able to use another library's electronic resource like this.
Are there other questions? Give it just a couple minutes.
And I have looked at Gale courses as well, and I know they do have some courses specifically on how to find a job. I took one of those over the summer, so that was, I found very interesting. I think it was the 12 steps to find a job, and that should be one of the options that was mentioned on the list when you choose what sort of courses you're looking for.
Yeah, so there's both sort of preparedness and development, and also sort of how you find jobs in the first place. All right. I am not seeing any other questions.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I think that may be everything. I'll just once again remind people that we do have a number of programs scheduled for the future as part of our collaboration efforts, and also recordings of programs that we've done over the last month. And that is all going to be at the website careercollab.org. So feel free to check that out. That will have videos in case you can't make live things, and also lists future programs where you can find all sorts of job-related topics. So feel free to check that. And if there's a program that you see that you like, you can click on the link and that will link you directly to the hosting library and you can register straight from there. If there are no other questions, then I think we are going to call it a night, and we thank everybody for coming, and have a great night. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.